Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to today's Infopedia web conference. You've joined us for Testing Guidance Workshop. We're finishing a few last-minute preparations for a session and we'll be getting started in just a few minutes. So go ahead and sit back, relax, and we'll be back with you shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome again to today's Infopedia web conference. You've joined us for Testing Guidance Workshop. We are broadcasting this web conference via Skype meeting broadcast, and the audio can be heard through your PC speakers. Today's web conference is being recorded on behalf of the Microsoft Corporation. If you do not consent to being a part of a recorded session, we ask that you please disconnect your browser at this time. Attendees may access the web conference recording via a link that will be delivered within 72 hours post-conference. You may ask a question at any time using the Q&A panel located either to the right of your screen or by scrolling down to just below the video pane. Our presenters are going to be responding to your questions throughout the presentation and again at the end of the presentation during a formal Q&A. Last but not least, if you experience any technical difficulties during today's web conference, first try refreshing your web browser by pressing the F5 key. If that doesn't work for you, you'll want to go ahead and click on the support link at the top right corner of your browser. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's session. Presenting for us today from Microsoft, we have Senior Customer Engineering Architect, Alex Ivanov. Alex, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Janice. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our training sessions on Skype Operations Framework. Today, we'll be talking about testing and specifically testing guidance workshop. My name is Alex Ivanov, and my team is part of Skype for Business product group. And the goal of our group is to enhance customer and partner experience by capturing feedback and while we enable organization to utilize Skype for Business to its fullest potential. So for many of you who attended sessions, this information about Skype Operations Framework would be new, but for those who join in our training sessions first time, I will reiterate what Skype Operations Framework is designed to do. It's the idea behind Skype Operations Framework is to give you guidance on how to do Skype for Business the right way. We have tons of experience gathered, and based on that experience, we build a lot of documentation and guidance to provide you with tools, recommended practices, best practices, how to deliver and operate reliable and cost-effective Skype for Business service in the cloud. So with the shift to the cloud, moving from on-premises deployments to online, we've been asked to provide practical guidance. We were getting questions like how Microsoft was doing. So Skype Operations Framework is our answer to enable you successfully deploy Skype for Business in the cloud. So we created multifaceted approach of Skype operations framework to provide guidance, to provide you with tools and assets. There is a lot of documentations. There is a structured approach with phases and stages to help drive Skype for Business deployment and adoption. So Skype for Business operations framework is a living framework. So it's constantly changes. So please check skypeoperationsframework.com page for latest and greatest information. And if you have any feedback, again, it's a live living framework. We continue updating, we continue working on improving guidance, on improving documentation. So your feedback is extremely important for quality of this framework. So again, it's a living framework. We innovate, constantly innovate. We constantly updating. We add in new contact. We add in new documents, and there is a big chance that by the time you watch this recording, there could be some changes. So for latest and greatest documentation and information, please check our page, Skype Operations Framework, and specifically if you're looking for training, latest and greatest training, then Skype Operations Framework/Academy. So let's dive into actual testing guidance workshop training. So with idea with this training is to help you to understand how to deliver testing guidance workshop. You will get familiar with assets available to you and methodology that we provide you with. And after this training, you should be able to deliver this session on your own. So it's extremely important, and probably by the time you get into a testing workshop, that you already fulfilled all prerequisites. And when you talk about testing guidance workshop, the idea behind it is to educate customer about Skype for Business testing activities, scope of testing. You will be in position where you already went through first phase of planning, and you at the point where you in the deploy stage, where you deployed service and now you're ready to test. So there are, of course, prerequisites. So before you get to this stage, you have to go through a planning phase. And you already talked about envisioning, you talked about design, and it's extremely important also to talk about network readiness. So this workshop will help you as a partner and a customer to plan for Skype for Business service deployment, as well as set expectations for testing engagement around testing activities, methodology, and outcomes. So let's dive into actual workshop slide deck, and The slide deck is available on Skype Operations Framework for you to download, and you can use it as is, or you can use it as a template. And there is during workshop, you will go through introductions, you will talk with your customer about business goals, about customer testing experience, present customer with methodology and resources available, and timelines and next steps. So why do we need introductions? It's extremely important to learn and about your customer, to know your customer. So instead of coming in and starting from talking about how to do, you need to learn what customer experiences are, what their roles are, and learn about their expectations, because it's most important part of successfully delivering engagement is to meet expectations. And to meet expectations, you need to learn about customer expectations and then set proper expectations, because in the process of introduction, you might learn that somebody has absolutely different expectations, and you can get everybody on the same page. You can also find out that some people not really right people in the room, so those people can realize and help them to adjust and be on the same page. So idea with business goals, you have to learn and level set on business goals. You learn about company expectations. Why they're looking at technology change. You ask them about their business goals. You ask them about drivers behind the technology change. Talk about expectations from Skype for Business Online, and discuss expectations from the workshop. It's also important to ask customer about their previous testing experience. Every customer is unique, and they had multiple experiences with technology. They tested technology multiple times, and because of that, they have their framework around expectations, how technology should behave. So you need to learn about that, and that will help you to set expectations with customers and learn about their experiences, and most importantly, learn about their definition of success criteria. Because again, setting expectations is very important to successful deployment and successful engagement, and specifically testing engagement. So why are we doing testing? It's to get customer familiar with product, with functionality, with features, and allow customer to learn specifics around the product and product behavior and service behavior, and set expectations. After successful testing, customer will have confidence. They will know what service capable of and how it behaves and how it works. So users comfortable with using service, Skype for Business online service. Through the testing, customers will find how service applies to their specific workflow or environment, and they will have understanding of the impact on their environment. And of course, every customer is unique and has specific usage scenarios. So testing allows customers to understand how it works, how the service works in their specific usage scenarios. So what is scope of the testing engagement? So there are 4 pillars in the testing engagement. First one is Skype for Business Online core functionality. And we talk about core functionality about things like sign-in experience, ability to pull contact list or create contact list, manage contact list, then see the presence of your contacts, ability to IM with people back and forth, ability to make, receive audio and video calls, and of course, internal conferencing. The next pillar is a cloud PBX E5 licenses with PSTN calling. And that's building on top of core functionality. You add in PBX features. You add in PSTN calling, domestic and international, and making and receiving calls to and from PSTN. Getting voicemails deposited and being able to retrieve voicemail, listen to voicemail. And of course, it's important to be able to make emergency calls, E911 calls. Another pillar is PSTN conferencing. So the big driver behind adoption is conferencing, and it's great that people have ability to create and join conferences online, but there are cases where people on the road and the only means to join the conference is dial in, and we have that functionality, and PSTN conferencing is important part of Skype for Business Online service. So here you want to make sure that users test features like scheduling, dial-in conference, and joining meeting from PSTN, and then adding ad hoc people to the conference through PSTN number. And of course, there is a very important constituency in every customer environment. It's IT admins, and our goal we build a very user-friendly admin portal for IT admins, so they can focus on the functionality versus trying to learn how to use it. So that's a testing activity, testing engagement is chance for IT admins to get comfortable and familiar with admin portal for Skype for Business Online, and test and get familiar how to do licensing for Skype for Business Online, how to do number management, meaning either get numbers from Microsoft provided DID range, or porting numbers from existing carrier. Also, how to manage E911. Of course, it's important to be able to run reporting to understand usage of the service, and call quality dashboard to give a visual representation of overall quality for media that your users experience, and measure your user experience. So let's talk about methodology. So we have testing phases, which includes user acceptance testing. So just 3 pillars in the previous slide. And then administrative testing, again, to get IT admins comfortable with admin portal. How do we prepare for testing? So we build test plan. We have resources available for a testing engagement. We have project plan, and we definitely need stakeholders for this engagement that actively participate and driving for success. So what resources are available and have to be employed in the testing engagement and testing activities? Of course, probably the most important resource is people. And because we do it for people, it's run by people, and it's used by people. And so there is a partner test lead. So that's if you if it's an end customer, they probably will get partner involved to help them to get through this process of deploying and adopting the service. There is a customer test lead. There are definitely test users who will be going through step by step through test steps to verify, get familiar with product. There is a project manager. There is a project sponsor. There is definitely IT admins who will support the testing engagement. Of course, there is technology. The tenant, Office 365 tenant, is required. It has to be there. There is licensing, has to be ready and available to apply to users. Of course, we need endpoints and user devices with clients installed. That would be Windows machine, Mac machine, mobile devices. Those are devices that your end users use, and they will be testing their user experience. From support perspective, there are tons of supporting documentation, there are training available, there are flashcards, there are videos how to use each features. It's all available on support.office.com. There is also admin support, so customer IT admins will be able to support this testing engagement. And during this workshop, partner and customer will define escalation paths. So if they run into issues during testing activity that not resolvable with available resources assigned to this project, how to escalate it either to Microsoft and get help to resolve specific issues. From Skype operations framework, there are tons of resources available. We build this framework, and we build over 60 templates, over 60 materials, documents that you can use in different stages of deployment and operations. And specifically for testing activities, there are test plans, there is a test matrix, there is a test results report, there is a testing workshop slide deck, there is test guidance and work breakdown structure. So all those materials are available on SkypeOperationsFramework.com website, and for each phase, as you can see, there are plan phase, there is deliver phase, there is operate phase. Those documents are available for you to download. You can download one by one, or you can download in the bulk. And when you download those documents, you use them as you go. So this particular slide shows example of test matrix, and test matrix gives you step-by-step instructions how to test each specific functionality. And when you go through those steps, you mark that particular test case as a pass or fail. Based on those results, we build reporting dashboard in this document, so you can see the percentage of completed test cases. You can see percentage of successful or failed test cases. And there is a different test cases grouped by those pillars. There is a core functionality test cases, there are admin functionality test cases, there are cloud PBX test cases, there is cloud, PSTN conferencing test cases. It's one big document, but if you need a quick glance at your progress, we have this dashboard that very visual, very easy to glance and understand your progress of testing. Another document available is a testing plan, and it's a plan outline to help you plan testing activities. So what resources involved, for how long, and when those resources are involved in testing, and then specific order, what happens after what, specific steps. And of course, in the end, after successful completion of testing activities, you need to present stakeholders with results of testing. And for that, we created a testing results summary PowerPoint template. And basically, you complete all testing activities, you have your results, and then you need to present those to wide audience, to your stakeholders, to your CIO, to all parties, to your line of business owners that are interested in this product, the driving adoption of this service. So instead of presenting them with all those nitty-gritty details in a big document, in that big spreadsheet, you put it in a summary and you talk about overall results, you talk about specific highlights, and if there is lowlights, you talk about those. You talk about challenges, you will talk about lessons learned, what should be addressed in a user training, because there is always a chance that the product works as expected, but there is those little things that you need to set expectations with your end users to enable them to be successful. So we provide that template as a part of Skype operations framework documentation on our website. So let's talk about timeline. So for testing engagement, there are 4 phases. There is a plan where you prepare and discuss and set success criteria. There is the actual testing phase. And if you find during testing some specific issues, then there is a remediate phase where you remediate those issues, and then finalize, where you basically summarize all learnings, all testing results, and present it to stakeholders. So let's talk a little more specifics about each phase. So plan phase is focused on identifying customer-specific test scenarios, identify resources, and agree on high-level timelines, and most importantly, agree on the success criteria. That's a time to get all stakeholders involved in testing on the same page, set expectations, and agree on success criteria. So when this phase is completed, partner and customer will have agree and have developed test plan and identify test resources. There will be tools defined like reporting and CQD. There's debugging tools, PowerShell commandlets. There will be escalation paths agreed. And again, everybody will be on the same page. So in the end of planning phase, all stakeholders will sign off on developed and agreed path forward. With phase 2 testing, we will actually go through admin test and user acceptance testing. So admins will test, go step by step and test tenant access. They will work on license management, assigning licensing to users, and number management. So acquiring numbers, PSTN DIDs, either from Microsoft range or porting numbers that they already have with their carrier from their carrier to Skype for Business online service. Managing E911, so basically creating locations and assigning users to specific locations. Then another activity is the user acceptance testing. So testing basic functionality, core functionality, testing media modalities like audio, video, IM, screen share, conferencing. It's important to pay attention to media quality. So you don't want to find your users in a situation where they make calls to each other and without testing actual media, without actually answering call and talking to each other and initiating a video, initiating screen share session, because there is always security around, there is always network, there is always environments that might affect media specifically. You are able to initiate call and it will ring, it will pop the toast, but it's also important to actually click on that toast, accept that call, and start that video session and see how that works. And then, of course, customer specific scenarios. Every customer has unique usage scenarios, and we want to make sure that they are tested and the customers are comfortable with service behavior for their specific environment. So outcome of this phase, we'll have in the beginning test environment ready, then we go through test and get them completed. And of course, we need to make sure that the test results are documented and ready for processing in finalized phase. So next phase, remediate, that comes after testing. During testing, might find some issues or learn something. So you need to identify those issues, either that connectivity issues, sign-in issues, and or media issues. So you need to identify, triage it, find the root cause, and work with appropriate teams to address those issues. There would be probably network team or security team or both of them, and get through those issues resolved, and get testing completed successfully. If there are some issues that need escalation, you will identify those issues and use escalation paths that was defined in a plan phase. And there are, of course, those learning items, things that you learn in testing that mostly come from expectations, not or assumptions. So during testing, you find how exactly service works, what color buttons are, or what happens when you click this button. Because you look at the button, there is icon, you have some assumptions around that icon, and you might find that your assumptions not exactly how product works, and those items has to be identified and addressed in the user training. So as outcome for this phase, you have issues identified, remediation completed, and everybody agrees that all issues remediated, solutions implemented, and again, it's important that everybody agrees that this phase was completed successfully, and everybody agrees that we're ready to move to the next phase, which is finalize. And in finalize phase, basically, we document test results, we document lessons learned, we create a test summary report, then that test summary report is presented to stakeholders, to wide audience. It could be business line owners, CIO, everybody, every stakeholder that involved and very interested in success. We present them with a summary report. And then, of course, we partner or customer testing team provides us testing documentation results, deliverables to wide audience of stakeholders for reference, so they know where those test results are and they can reference to them back. So everybody knows and comfortable with testing activities completed. So as outcome will be test results documented. We have summary report created and delivered, and deliverables made available to stakeholders for later reference. So again, testing engagement outcome. You in the workshop, you reiterate what to expect, set expectations from testing engagement, and you talk about test reports. You reiterate that result of testing activities, testing engagement, that customer will have test reports. It's a baseline that to set expectations. Customer will have confidence in the service. They will be familiar. They will know how to use it. Customer will have lessons learned. Customer will have, based on those lessons learned, there will be tips and tricks that will be communicated in the end user training and populated during adoption phase. And they might be a list of issues to address. So there might be a situation where a customer environment will have to be looked at from network perspective or security perspective, and hopefully those issues will be resolved during remediation phase of testing engagement. And then in the end of testing guidance workshop, we talk about next steps. So after testing engagement is completed, it's not end of deployment. There is still a lot of things to do. So there is a step to execute adoption plan. There is a step to initiate communication and user training. So it's important to have your end users informed and be familiar with what is going on and what to expect, so they don't caught by surprise when they come to work and find there is some new icon or their task panel. So they know how to use it, how to be fully productive with Skype for Business Online. And you confirm support resources, you deploy qualified devices, and then you move to the pilot stage. So in this training, we talked about testing guidance workshops. So hopefully after this training, my goal was to get you to understand how to deliver this workshop. I talked about assets and methodology, assets available to you and methodology that we utilize in testing activities and testing engagement. And I think you should be able to deliver this session on your own. And we're here to enable you to be successful in deployment and adoption of Skype for Business Online. So again, Skype Operations Framework is a living framework. We're constantly working on improvements, and we're looking for feedback. We're listening to feedback. Your feedback allows us to make this framework better, as well as this product better and service better. So please let us know what works, what doesn't work, what you like to see expanded on. If there is, if we made mistake, please let us know. If there is anything missing, and whatever you think and would like to see in this framework, please let us know. So this is end of presentations, and I would like to hand it over back to Janice.
All right, thank you, Alex. All right, audience, we're going to be starting our Q&A session here in just a moment. If you'd like to ask a question, just as a reminder, go ahead and submit your question into the white text box located either to the right of your screen or by scrolling down to just below the video pane. You can submit it there, and then we'll hand it over to Alex in just a couple seconds here to address those questions. Before we do that, though, I'd like to bring your attention to the link on the upper right-hand side of the viewing window that says, "Please take a short survey." That's a link to a short survey for this web conference, and we ask that you please take a moment before logging out to access it. We hope that you found today's information helpful, and if you enjoyed today's web conference or have feedback on how we can provide you with a better event, this is your chance to let us know. The survey scores are on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score possible. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and check the queue for any questions. I haven't seen any come in. So Alex, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
Sure. So again, thank you for attending this session, and please check skypeoperationsframework.com for latest and greatest. We're constantly updating it, and check Academy section of Skype Operations Framework, where we place recordings. It's a common question. If attendees can review recordings later, definitely check Academy. on Skype Operations Framework. We put those recordings there for your viewing at your convenience.
All right, great. Thank you, Alex. All right, audience, that is going to conclude today's web conference. Attendees may access the web conference recording via a link that will be delivered within 72 hours post-conference. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter, Alex Ivanov, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today. You may now disconnect from the broadcast.